Why do RBs fail? We've noticed that a lot of new RBs fail. And I had an engine built not all that long ago that I ran up on our engine dyno, and it was catastrophic. It ran 15 minutes. I had to stop, start again, and I thought to myself, if people that know what they're doing don't clean engines properly, then what chance have we got to have engines actually last past run-in? I thought to myself, you know what? I was talking to Anthony yesterday, I'm gonna do a video on how to clean an RB. And he's like, you serious? You've got to do a video on, actually, I wanna be part of that. Can I come up? Yep. So I said, let's come up and we'll discuss what we do to clean RBs before we build them, and you'll see what I actually do on our R0 engine before assembling this completely. You're gonna see how much I clean them. We've got an argument against using pressure washers. Anthony doesn't use them, I do. I'm gonna show you how I clean it, and then we're gonna have a discussion on whether or not you agree and what you do to clean them. Okay, so first things first, we need to remove all of the things in the oil galleries. So that includes all the oil squirters, which Anthony's going to help me remove the last one there. And then we've got our oil gallery bungs in the front and in the back of the block, right? There you go. So once all of that's out of the way, we've got a clear oil passage through the guts. We also have this oil passage for the oil pickup, which we're not using, but we'll clean it out anyway. And then showing you the rest of the oil galleries there. We have the block-offs and the oil gallery restrictor, which have to come out of the deck. Remove them. Most people just bang in new ones. No. Take them out.
Yep, they've got to come out. They're guaranteed to be garbage behind.
Your way of removing those. I use a little drill, M4 and 5.
I use a drill tap. I've got a little drill tap at M4, a little bit of alley.
You'll notice
it'll draw it out.
Once you drill it close enough, the shell becomes thin and it comes out with the drill anyway.
Yeah.
Clean out all the stud holes and give it a real good clean. All the oil galleries that go through, up and through and beyond the block, we need to clean them. So let's get into that.
Sweet. So you can see as the brush is coming back out, it comes out brown. Goes in white, comes out brown, because it's full of rust and garbage and from being in hot tanks and all that. So it doesn't matter what kind of hot tank the shop uses, you always have to brush it all by hand and make sure it's 100% clean, because that's going straight into your bearings, whatever's in that gallery.
To get to the back of it, people usually don't bother because there's an engine frame in the way. Unbolt the block and get to it, or do what I do, cheat a little bit and put a hole in the back. And that way, you can get to it. Look at it come out. This is the one no one does. I don't know if you do this one, Ed. Which one? This one.
In May?
Yeah.
You do this one. Of course you do.
What would you do this one for, mate?
Yeah, just leave it. The other thing that people often forget, up under the pan rail. When someone machines your main tunnel or any kind of machining in the bottom of the block, even when you get your bore and hone done, the swarf is going to build up under here, under the mains and in this webbing. A lot of people forget that. So all that has to be scrubbed. I like to check it by hand because you can feel it if there's any sort of grimy stuff there.
With this side done, we're going to turn over and do the other side. Now that all the oil galleries have been done twice, I like to give the bores a once over. I don't like keeping the bores wet for long because they start to get a little bit of surface rust. Warm soapy water, and we get in there. If you're lucky, you can get your whole hand in there, not being dirty. Now I reckon we're ready for a gurney.
Yeah, definitely.
Now as a final step, I like to drill from one side and gurney from the other. So Ant's going to help me do that. Now that it's almost clean enough, we start again and do it again.
Yep.
I probably do it 3 or 4 times and blow it out each time.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've got to be 100% sure that it is cleaner than something you would eat off. Now that we're pretty happy with our block, we've got a little bit of surface rust, which happens every time you clean a block. I like to hit it with a bit of Scotch-Brite. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, same. A little bit of Scotch-Brite and then brake clean it so that you've got no particulate anywhere, and then you're pretty much ready for final assembly.
Oil it again, and then you're ready to build.
Yeah.
So we haven't done our main cap brace or the crank. Obviously, you're going to clean all those bits anyway. We just wanted to hit the block on camera. So now that we're happy with this, let's hit the head. Head. Cleaning cylinder heads. You can just tank them and be done with it. But then what happens?
If you're lucky, it seizes a camshaft. If you're unlucky, it seizes a camshaft and drops all the valves.
And then it hurts pistons and they go and butcher cylinders, and sometimes you punch rods.
Yep.
All because you didn't clean out one oil gallery. There's a ball bearing or a factory bung in there. I'm not going to talk about how to remove it and show you too much. You can weld to it, you can drill on it, you can CNC it, just get it out.
Yeah.
The head guy's going to get rid of it. It doesn't matter. But if someone hands you a cylinder head that's all ready to build and it's got a factory bung or a ball bearing in it, simply hand them the head back and say, do your job properly. Now, I'm passionate about that because it is a major reason for RBs failing.
Yeah, definitely.
There's only a small oil gallery that goes to each one of those journals. You can see it. A little bit of swarf, doesn't have to be much, to block one of those galleries. You're stuffed. It won't move through it because you've only got a thou clearance.
Even if the head, a lot of the times, cylinder head shops, they'll vapor blast it or bead blast it or something along those lines, and they think a hot tank is plenty. You put it in a hot tank with these bungs in there and forget it. It's going to be full of garbage.
They cement themselves in there behind the bungs. and it doesn't take much for it to get dislodged and end up in an oil gallery. Once the oil has come up from the bottom of the cylinder head into the main oil feeds, one of two, it has no choice but to be in the main galleries that then go and feed all of those journals.
Yep.
Where is that one little bit of swarf going to end up eventually? In your cam journal.
Lodged in the cam journal between the camshafts.
So then you're going to grab a dry journal and it's going to start squeaking, and if you don't hear it, it's going to grab, and then it starts this chain reaction and puts metal into the bottom end.
Yep.
And then you start clogging filters, it ends up in the main bearings, it ends up in the big ends, and you've completely destroyed an engine.
Yep.
So for the sake of removing some bungs and cleaning a head, we've done a whole heap of port work on both of these heads. You'll see there's just swarf everywhere. You only need one tiny little bit of swarf to ruin a journal. Now we're going to show you how to do it properly on this head, because I've got to clean it anyway. What do you reckon? Let's go.
Sweet.
So we're just dousing it with degreaser so we can unstick all the metal particles. It's obviously just had a lot of port work done, which you can see. So all of that swarf ends up going somewhere. So we need to get it all out of the oil galleries and really give it a good clean up.
Don't walk away, you never walk away before we get it. Don't walk away, you never walk away before we get it. Don't walk away.
We've got these feeders in 05U heads. They're slightly different. We want to clean the feeder tubes as well, and anything that connects anything. All these drain backs all need to be cleaned out. We need to clean all of the coolant holes. There's still swarf in all these little compartments, so we want to make sure we clean all of that out. All the head holes, basically every single hole.
Don't walk away, you never walk away before we get it. Don't walk away, you never walk away before we get it.
So after that's done, I'll show you some cool oil galleries that we've got in this head. I don't want to talk too much about the 05U head because no one cares about that head. It's all about this, and this is what everyone's going to be cleaning and need to know how to clean because it's a little bit different. So the 05U's just got the standard big oil gallery and a few feeding tubes. This has got two sections of oil galleries and they're all interconnected through main stud holes in this position, which you can see between the ports here. So we want to clean up these bucket holes, which lubricate the buckets, the bucket bores, and we also want to clean the connecting holes that connect all of the oil galleries through from the main head stud hole ports that do a loop, and then it lubricates the top end. So all of those oil galleries need to be cleaned.
Don't walk away, you never walk away before we get it. Don't walk away, you never walk away before we get it. Don't walk away, you never walk away before we get it.
Now with all of the oil galleries brushed thoroughly with degreaser, it's time to gurney it. Now we're going to do this twice. You also want to remove all of the Walsh plugs and get any swarf out of any of the coolant jackets as well. And there you have it, one clean head. What do we do now? Do it again.
Don't walk away, you never walk away before we get it. Don't walk away, you never.
So you've got to do it enough times to be 100% sure that it's spotless, and then clean it again, because it only takes that one little speck. So the first time you go and run an engine in, when you open up your filter, you should see no large specks at all. It goes to show that you've done a good job cleaning it. You're going to have burnishing marks, you're going to have a little bit of just from the rings bedding in, and some little bit of bronzy sort of looking stuff. It looks metallic, right? It looks heavy.
Yeah.
Weigh your oil and then weigh it after you run the engine. It should be the same. If it's got metal in it, it won't be.
You got a problem.
Anyway, so I hope that we've really drilled in how much you need to clean stuff before putting an RB together, any engine, but we're talking about RB specifically, and unfortunately we keep hearing about engines and seeing engines that don't last and bearings look scored on run-in because people aren't cleaning it properly.
So fortunately, these are basic engine building fundamentals which seem to get missed very often these days.
And we want everyone to have a good experience with the RB. We're trying to better the RB industry. So we don't want to hear disaster stories. We don't want to see shops not doing the right thing. We don't want to see people in their garages not doing the right thing. Spend the extra time. When you get an invoice from a workshop for 9 hours cleaning or 14 hours cleaning, happily pay it. Ask why it wasn't 20. Don't stinge out on the cleaning, guys.
And just in case you didn't believe us that you need to clean this thing multiple times, if you have a look down in there, you can see there's still swarf after all that cleaning.
Anyway, let's go and clean this again.
Yep.
Don't walk away, don't walk away.